Coastal wetlands occupy the space between land and sea. They fringe embayments and estuaries, locations where freshwater streams and rivers drain and mix into the ocean. These unique habitats have an important role in coastal ecosystem health. They absorb nutrients, attenuate storm surge, and provide a place for birds, mammals, and fish to forage and grow. Their position in the coastal landscape, however, makes them especially vulnerable to losses. Although they are resilient and specifically adapted to the constantly changing conditions of coastal environments, coastal wetlands are not immune to damage from human manipulation, climate change, and rapidly accelerating sea level rise. There are over 240,000 acres of coastal wetlands between the Delaware Estuary and Barnegat Bay. In these estuaries, many acres of coastal wetlands are lost every year due to interior drowning and shoreline erosion. These losses are a growing concern, so understanding where and why these habitats are being lost requires intensive, coordinated efforts. The need to track the status and trends across these estuaries prompted the establishment of the Mid-Atlantic Coastal Wetland Assessment. Since 2010, the Partnership for the Delaware Estuary and the Barnegat Bay Partnership, along with the Academy of Natural Science of Drexel University and other partners, have worked to implement the Mid-Atlantic Coastal Wetland Assessment. The Mid-Atlantic Coastal Wetland Assessment supports coordinated and consistent efforts to assess coastal wetland conditions across multiple states, including New Jersey, Delaware, and New York. Utilization of consistent methods among sites makes data comparable, offering explicit insights into spatial and temporal variability. The multi-level strategy of Mid-Atlantic Coastal Wetland Assessment spans from remote sensing to site-specific intensive monitoring, following national guidance from the Environmental Protection Agency. The tiers of the Mid-Atlantic Coastal Wetland Assessment are: Tier 1. Tier 1 projects focus on landscape level changes. These often include data from satellite imagery or aerial photography. Tier 2. Tier 2 projects are rapid probabilistic condition assessments. These assessments are designed to cover large-scale spatial extents such as across entire watersheds. For this, we have been using the Mid-Atlantic Tidal Rapid Assessment Method. Tier 3. Tier 3 supports special research projects that help resolve data or knowledge gaps. These projects are crucial for understanding emerging research needs and providing context to other monitoring or condition assessments. Tier 4. Tier 4 supports intensive, long-term monitoring at representative stations. Each of these stations are visited no less than once per year to collect a suite of metrics outlined in the Mid-Atlantic Coastal Wetland Assessment Site-Specific Intensive Monitoring Protocols. Since 2010, the Mid-Atlantic Coastal Wetland Assessment Program has accomplished a lot. Landscape level analysis from 1996 to 2010 found that coastal wetland loss rates are nearly 15 acres per year in the Barnegat Bay and exceed 100 acres per year in the Delaware Estuary. Over 450 coastal wetland sites have been evaluated for their relative condition using Mid-Atlantic Tidal Rapid Assessment. More than 20 long-term monitoring stations across Delaware, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and New York have been established through Mid-Atlantic Coastal Wetland Assessment site-specific intensive monitoring methods, and more are being planned. At each long-term monitoring station, surface elevation tables were installed. These are used to measure incremental elevation changes on the marsh. Since 2011, we have collected more than 20,000 data points. Most long-term monitoring stations now have at least 5 years of data, which is enough to begin summarizing trends and elucidating drivers of coastal wetland function over time. The Mid-Atlantic Coastal Wetland Assessment, as a professional community and a hub for methodologies or data, has contributed to dozens of special projects with topics that range from blue carbon, tidal marsh restoration, shoreline erosion, sea level rise resilience, and the economic value of coastal wetlands in the region. The Mid-Atlantic Coastal Wetland Assessment has also served as foundational infrastructure for the multi-institutional collaboration of tidal marsh monitoring professionals, including those of federal, state, private, and nonprofit organizations. The New Jersey-wide collaboration is often called the New Jersey Tidal Wetland Monitoring Network. Over the past 10 years, the Mid-Atlantic Coastal Wetland Assessment has served not only as a basis for systemic scientific research, but as a platform through which numerous scientists, practitioners, land managers, local municipalities, and the public collaborated and engaged. The Mid-Atlantic Coastal Wetland Assessment has evolved through these collaborative efforts and has subsequently been strengthened. For the 10-year anniversary of the Mid-Atlantic Coastal Wetland Assessment, a work group was convened to re-examine the program's goals and discuss whether and how to sustain the efforts to continue to guide coastal wetland decision-making into the future. This meeting was held in the autumn of 2020, organized by the New Jersey Department of Environmental Protection, Partnership for the Delaware Estuary, and the Barnegat Bay Partnership. Out of this effort, we identified 3 strategies to ensure Mid-Atlantic coastal wetland assessment evolution. 1. Strengthen the Mid-Atlantic Coastal Wetland Assessment Work Group infrastructure. 2. Add a 5th Mid-Atlantic Coastal Wetland Assessment tier to accommodate a growing need for outreach and education. And 3. Improve Mid-Atlantic Coastal Wetland Assessment online presence. While we collectively strive to fulfill these 3 strategies, in the near future our goals include refining the metrics and continuing to use Mid-Atlantic coastal wetland assessment data for applied restoration purposes and monitoring. For instance, the Barnegat Bay Partnership and other partners are looking to use the Mid-Atlantic Tidal Rapid Assessment method to prioritize areas for restoration and expand its utility to marsh islands. Yes, the Mid-Atlantic Coastal Wetland Assessment Program has come a long way. It has accomplished much, but the work of evolving to meet the needs of the future has just begun.